Okay, 1.4, as we've split up 1.6, is solving absolute value equations. So you need to think about the definition of absolute value, which is the value of a number is its distance from zero. Here are the symbols, those are the bars around your number. So there's a couple of examples. Absolute value of 6 is 6, and then the absolute value of -5 is 5. Those are just the places from 0 to that integer. It doesn't mean the opposite of an integer. It is how far away from 0 it is. It's always positive or 0, never negative. So if you were going to graph the absolute value of 6, it is the points at -6 and 6. You've got those two numbers there. If we solve an equation that has an absolute value, we have to consider two cases that could be inside the absolute value equation, or the symbols. So we have two things that could be inside here, or two possibilities that could be n, and then give us 5. So we could have a negative value that could end up in here, and we could have a positive value that could end up here. So that's what we do, is we think of a negative and a positive. So the first thing we do is we leave n minus 3 unchanged, and we also take the opposite of n minus 3 by multiplying it all by -1. Sometimes we write just like a negative symbol, negative sign there, which takes the place of -1, and then we distribute that. So you're going to be applying the distribute property here. Right here, we're distributing -1, which means -n, +3. Over here is just very simply solving. You just need to move 3. So not a whole lot happening there. Then we're going to subtract 3 here because this is addition of 3. So we're solving there. And we have to do one more thing since it's now -n. We've got to divide by -1. So we get a -2 and we get 8. And so this is how we write our solution. So it is the set of numbers, -2 and 8. We do have a couple of special cases, which we will go through this no solution. We'll do that in class. We do need to make sure that we isolate the absolute value symbols. So in this case, the very first problem, it was simple and ready to go. We just had the absolute value of something. In this next problem, we need to make sure that all we have is the absolute value of something. Nope, we don't. We're multiplying the absolute value by 3, and we're subtracting 5. So we've got to take care of those numbers. We've got to get rid of them. So we need to, first of all, we've got to undo the subtraction first. So we need to move that 5 over to the other side. So we've got 9, and then we need to get rid of and divide out that 3. So this is 3 times this absolute value, so let's divide that out. So we can just divide that entire side, and we've got 9 divided by 3. So that just leaves us with the absolute value of 2x minus 3. So this is what we're going to write two cases of. So here's our negative case. So we're going to do the opposite of all of this, giving us -2x plus 3. So we'll subtract that out, and then we'll divide out the -2. So we just have x is 0. And then there's our positive. So all we had to do was add 3 and then divide 2. So here's our solution, 0 and 3. So this is when we had to isolate the absolute value symbols. So if you have stuff hanging outside of the absolute value symbols, you need to make sure that you isolate that and are ready to write your negative and positive case finally. And then we'll do another special case when we get into class. So be ready for your notes.